Mr. Akros, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City's evening docket. Today's Thursday, September 26, 2019. The board will be hearing regular items, new transfer, expansion, hardship applications. When your case is called, please step up to the microphone and state your name. If you're going to be giving testimony, please be prepared to be sworn in. May I start with a preliminary matter?
Yes, sir.
Case of Christopher Kearns, Corey Cartwright, PHVIF2, Baltimore F&B LLC, trading as Hampton Inn Baltimore, 550 Washington Boulevard, has been postponed and will be reset for a future date. Calling the first case on the docket, Thomas Geddes and William McDermott III, Sagamore Whiskey LLC, trading as Sagamore Spirit, 301 East Cromwell Street, is a Class 1 distillery license and application for an on-premise consumption permit under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 2-202I1 through 3, which authorizes the board to grant an on-premise consumption permit to an applicant that holds a Class 1 distillery license.
Good evening. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg Martin, on behalf of the applicant. I am joined by my colleague Justin Williams, our individual licensee applicant Tom Geddes, who is the CEO of Plank Industries and a Baltimore City resident, Drew Thorne, who is the VP of Finance and Operations at Sagamore Spirit, and Christina Alexander, who's the General Counsel and VP of Compliance.
Good afternoon. Those who are going to testify, please raise your right hands.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Ms. Hecker?
With your permission, I'll proceed by way of a proffer. This is an application for an on-premises consumption permit in connection with a Class 1 distillery in Port Covington, the Sagamore Spirit Distillery at 301 East Cromwell Street. I've handed out a file folder full of exhibits. I'll walk through them briefly. I understand the board is interested in moving things along with all deliberate speed this evening. This is a type of consumption permit that was created in this year's legislative session in Annapolis. A copy of the legislation is enclosed in the file for your reference. What it does is it allows the holder of a Class 1 distillery to have a permit to serve and to have folks consume on premises liquor that is distilled on the premises in the form of mixed drinks. It's sort of similar to what had been in place with breweries for a long time in the tasting room. You could go and have a beer that was brewed on the premises. This is similar in that it allows for distilleries, class holders of Class 1 distillery licenses to serve their liquor on their premises. As I'm sure you are aware, the Sagamore Spirit Distillery is part of the Port Covington project, which is a major urban revitalization project that is underway right now. The first phase started this past spring officially. It's a $600 million phase. There is some press in the file about the first phase. I won't go into too much detail there. The Sagamore Spirit that is produced on the premises was introduced in 2013, became available to the public in 2016, and the distillery opened in April of 2017. Since that time, about 85,000 people have come through the distillery to visit the campus and see what goes on there. There are some photos in the file that show the distillery premises and the tours that occur currently. The on-premises consumption permit, as I mentioned, allows the creation of a tap room for the sale of mixed drinks made from the liquor that's distilled on the premises. Under the law, there is an aggregate maximum of 7,750 gallons that may be served on premises annually. The law limits their hours of operation from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and they are required to comply with the general provisions related to alcohol awareness training.
And they're the first to be able to apply for such a license, right?
Yes, I believe we are, yeah.
There are no existing license holders.
Correct. So what they're proposing to do is reconfigure their tasting rooms to more appropriately serve on-premise, facilitate bar service.
So no more
there.
free taste?
They'll still have the free taste in connection with the tours, but if you don't want to take a tour, you can also go in and have a cocktail. As a matter of policy, they card everyone who comes into their facility. Their sort of official policy is to card everyone who appears to be under 35, but as a practical matter, they card everyone who comes in there. All of their managers will complete the alcoholic beverages safety training course. They will always have someone on staff who has that certification, and they actually bring the tips trainers onto their site a couple of times a year to do the training on site. Mr. Geddes, who's here, is one of our individual licensee applicants. The other, Mr. McDermott, is a resident of Florida, was not able to be here today. Mr. Geddes, as I mentioned, is the CEO of Plank Industries. He's been involved with Sagamore Spirit since the beginning. Mr. McDermott, the other individual licensee applicant, was one of Under Armour's first employees. He's been in this with Mr. Plank since the very beginning as well. Both of the individual licensee applicants are familiar with the rules and regulations of the Liquor Board and agree to abide by them. Although the law doesn't set forth the criteria that the board's required to consider in approving the license, if they're treated the same as any other type of liquor license, we have the public need and desire for the license, which is demonstrated by the fact that the General Assembly enacted legislation to specifically authorize this type of permit. There are not very many other licenses in Port Covington currently. There's Nick's Fish House, Rice Street Tavern, and South Point. And having, a distillery having an on-premise consumption permit is not expected to have any type of impact on the existing licensees. We think it'll add a synergy to the Port Covington area and give people another reason to come down to that part of town. In that vein, it also does create a uniqueness of services. As you mentioned, this is the only on-premises consumption permit so far that will have been issued to a distillery. We don't expect there to be any negative impact on general health, safety, or public welfare. And so for these reasons, we would request that the board approve the issuance of the on-premises consumption permit. Obviously, we're all here and available to answer any questions the board might have.
Will those who are serving the alcohol be tip certified?
I believe so, yes, that is the plan. Mr. Thorne can confirm that.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how many people that will be, but do you have any idea?
Right now, we have in-house, we have a certified trainer through the TIPS program. So our HR manager trains everybody that joins the team that is in service of alcohol.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
And Mr. Thorne, you're the main person involved in the management and operations?
Myself and our president, Brian Tracy.
Okay.
None.
No further questions?
Okay.
so.
Thank you. On the basis then of the materials contained in the application, as well as the exhibits which have been received in evidence here, the proffers from council, and testimony received, I would vote to approve the application for the new on-premise consumption permit for a holder of a Class 1 distillery license requesting outdoor table service.
I concur for the same reasons. I vote to approve the on-premise consumption permit for a holder of a Class 1 distillery license requesting outdoor table service.
I concur with both who spoke prior to me.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Michael Zippis for the record. Board Exhibit 1, business plan.
I'm just going to stay up here.
Call the next case, Kathleen Hughes, Harbor East Parcel D, Promenade Dining LLC, trading as Maximum 200 International Drive. This is a Class B beer wine liquor license application for a new Class B beer wine liquor license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 12903C2I, requiring $500,000 in capital investments, restaurant fixtures and facilities, 51% of food sales, and seating capacity for 75 but not more than 150 individuals, requesting live entertainment and outdoor table service.
Again, counsel.
Thank you. Caroline Hecker, Rosenberg, Martin, Greenberg. On behalf of the applicant, I have with me the individual licensee applicant, Kathleen Hughes, who is also a Baltimore City resident, and Brian McCormick, who is the Director of Operations for the Atlas Restaurant Group, which will be managing the restaurant.
Would you folks raise your right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay, so Four Seasons, right?
Yes, this is for a new Class B license for the Four Seasons Hotel. It'll occupy the space that was formerly occupied by Wit and Wisdom on the first floor, as well as the outdoor patio area. This is a license for which the requirements for seating, where they have seating for more than 150 individuals, are that there be a capital investment of at least $700,000 and average daily receipts from the sale of food that are at least 65%. We don't believe we'll have any difficulty meeting those requirements. I believe you are familiar with the Four Seasons Hotel. It originally opened in 2011. They recently added an additional 8 floors for condos. They've been selling very well. The whole Harbor East area is booming, especially with the development of Harbor Point adjacent to it. I'll briefly go through some of the things that are in the file that I've handed out. There's an aerial photo showing the Four Seasons complex, as well as some press about the condo sales. There's a copy of the PUD. This property is located in the Harbor East PUD area, which allows the live entertainment and outdoor seating by right. The Atlas Restaurant Group, which is going to operate the restaurant, they operate 3 restaurants currently within the Four Seasons, the Bygone, the Lock Bar, and Azumi. So they're very familiar with the hotel, and they have a lot of experience operating
What
in
happened
this area.
to Wit and Wisdom's license?
Wit and Wisdom was under the hotel license.
Oh, so they didn't have one to transfer?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
It's new.
The concept for the new space is Maximon. It is named after a Mayan deity, and they intend to serve food that is inspired by South American and Mexican cuisines. There is a sample menu included in the file. The indoor seating plan has been designed by Patrick Sutton, who's a local designer. They'll have a seating for about 175 people inside in a main dining room, a bar and lounge area, and there'll be a tequila tasting room where folks can make their own blends of tequila. They're also proposing to have a stage where they'll have Latin-themed musical acts perform. You can see that, just to point it out, is sort of in the middle of the floor plan in this general area here. We've also included in the file some interior renderings of what the space will look like. It's under construction now. We're expecting to open later this fall. There's some press from the BBJ as well in the file about the concept, and some renderings of the outdoor area. In the outdoor area, we're proposing to have seating for about 125 people, including 18 seats at an outdoor bar. The executive chef is a gentleman named Colin King, who comes to Baltimore from New York, where he oversaw the operation of 4 Mexican-inspired restaurants with about 100 employees. We plan to offer lunch and dinner service, with hours of operation generally being from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. We'll probably end up closing earlier on weeknights, but we'd like the flexibility to have the full hours of operation. The policy will be to card anyone who appears to be under 35 years of age. They will require alcohol awareness certification for all managers. The last thing you'll see in the file is the capital investment breakdown, showing a capital investment of over $1.5 million. The project will also result in the creation of about 75 jobs. With regard to the requirements for the new Class B license, the $1.5 million capital investment exceeds the $700,000 requirement. The seating capacity for is over 150 seats. We have 175 indoor seats. We also have 125 outdoor seats, although those don't count towards our seating capacity. And because the Atlas Group currently operates 3 other restaurants within the Four Seasons building, they have a good handle on what they expect their food sales to be. They don't anticipate that they'll have any difficulty meeting the 65% food sales requirement. Our individual licensee applicant is Ms. Hughes, who is present here to my right. She is an authorized individual of the landlord entity Harbor East Parcel D Promenade Dining LLC. She's been in property management for Harbor East Management Group, and she's lived in Baltimore for over 38 years. She is currently on the license for the hotel as well, but she is permitted to be on more than one license because this meets the capital investment requirement of at least $500,000 and a seating capacity of 125 individuals. Having the landlord entity hold the liquor license gives the landlord a lot more control over the operation of the restaurant. They have every incentive to make sure that this is a first-class operation, which we fully anticipate that it will be.
When will it open?
They're planning to open this fall. I don't know if you have a date yet.
Approximately
Mid-November. With regard to the criteria the board is required to consider in approving the application, there is a public need and desire for the license, particularly since there had been a restaurant at this location. We think that it's appropriate that there be another license in this space. There is not any excess of existing licensees in the vicinity, and in fact, as I mentioned, Atlas Restaurant Group operates the other restaurants with which this would compete most immediately in the hotel complex, and we don't believe it'll have any detrimental effect on existing licensees. It does present a uniqueness of services in restaurant concept with this high-end Mexican and South American-inspired cuisine and this really fabulous outdoor patio area. We don't believe there'll be any negative impact on health, safety, or public welfare, and for these reasons, we would request that the board approve the issuance of the Class B license.
Will Ms. Hughes have any management?
No, she will not be involved in the
Who's managing it?
Mr. McCormick will be in charge,
Okay.
yes, which is why we wanted to have him here today as well.
Right, okay.
Commissioner, any questions?
Any prior experience?
Prior experience in managing restaurants?
Yes.
So currently I work for Atlas Restaurant Group for 6 years. We operate 12 concepts in Baltimore currently. So I have 6 years experience in this group, and 20 years experience in the hotel, and food and beverage industry.
Anything else?
Nothing further.
Anything further? Okay, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, as well as the exhibits that will be received, the proffers from council, and the testimony received, I would vote to approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment outdoor table service.
For the same reasons, I vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with live entertainment and outdoor table service.
Good luck.
Concur with both.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I jumped the gun, I apologize.
I'd like to call exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit 1, business plan.
Calling next case, Nicholas Driver, KSS Hotel LLC, trading as trade name Pending, 1803 Porter Street, AKA 1215 East Fort Avenue, Land Unit 3. There's an application for a new Class B hotel motel, beer, wine, and liquor license, as authorized by Alcoholic Beverages Article 12, 1604H4, which allows the board to issue not more than one Class B hotel motel, beer, wine, and liquor license for use by establishment in the 1200 block of East Fort Avenue.
Good evening, Justin Williams on behalf of the applicant. Here we're joined by Elias Thompson, who's the area general manager for the hotel's management company, Shaner Hotel Group, and Nick Driver, the individual licensee.
Gentlemen, you raise your right hands, please.
Swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Mr. Williams?
I'll join Caroline in proffering, if that's okay with the board. I know we're trying to get out of here quickly. Good to see you, Commissioner Jones.
Always good to see you.
Like Mr. Akers mentioned, this is an application for a new hotel to be located at McHenry Row, Phase 3 in the back corner, like the last phase to be developed at McHenry Row. It has the address of 1215 East Fort Avenue, but it's been condominiumized, and so the address is 1803 Porter Street. I'm sure you're familiar with McHenry Row as well. Included photos for your review to give you a sense of the location. The hotel is under construction right now in the back corner, facing I-95, looking over the cruise terminal. And there's articles in the file I've handed out to you that show and discuss the hotel. It's intended to cater to cruise terminal passengers and the office users and people visiting McHenry Row. It's a really vibrant mixed-use development, and it's really exciting. I've included Senate Bill 584 in Annapolis this session. The legislation was passed by Senator Ferguson to specifically allow a license for the hotel at this location. Otherwise, I guess for the past 20 years or so, Locust Point has been banned from new licenses, and so to demonstrate the value, I guess, and need for a license in this community, legislation was passed to allow it to happen here. The hotel proposed under construction now is supposed to be operated as a Marriott, a Courtyard by Marriott. I'm sure you're familiar with the brand. There's photos, renderings for your review in the file. Excuse me. There's a floor plan in the file for your review as well. The hotel will be an 8-story building with 126 rooms, a fitness center, meeting rooms, business library, a bar and lounge. There's also an outdoor area, a fire pit. There will be 128 seats interior to the hotel for guests and patrons to enjoy meals and alcoholic beverages. I've included a copy of the bar menu. The Courtyard by Marriott brand requires a bistro bar to be operated in the hotel, and they serve kind of the typical fare you might expect for a hotel restaurant. The capital investment has been included as well for your review. The hotel itself represents a capital investment of $20.7 million in privately funded investment in the city. The hotel anticipates creating between 30 and 40 new jobs depending on the season, and there'll be 8 to 12 in the bistro bar area. Day-to-day management will be done at the hotel by Shaner Hotel Group. They operate 51 hotels in 17 states in the area. The GM will be Kathleen Curtis. I've included her resume for your review. She couldn't be here this evening. There's a family emergency she had to attend to. Elias Thompson is the area general manager and will have oversight of this hotel and others in his portfolio. The assistant GM is Marie John, so both the resumes are there for your review. They will be in charge of enforcing the Marriott alcohol policy, which requires each person who will come in contact with alcoholic beverages to undergo 5-hour alcohol awareness training, and all guests who appear to be under 40 years of age must be carded. For issuance of a new Class B license, the hotel meets the requirements. It has minimum facilities to serve meals to at least 125 individuals. There will be 126 rooms, which exceeds the requirement of 100 rooms. And the capital investment of $20 million greatly exceeds the minimum requirement of $500,000. The individual licensee applicant is Nick Driver. He happens to be the son of the CFO of the landlord entity that owns the land the hotel is built on. He won't have any day-to-day operational experience, but as a relative of the landlord's company, he'll make sure that there is not any unruly behavior at the hotel premises. we answer any questions the board has for you. The factors for which the board is required to consider in issuing a license, public need and desire for the license demonstrated by the fact that legislation was passed in Annapolis specifically for this hotel to have a license. And because it's in a mixed-use development and a standalone hotel, it won't have any impact on other licensees in the vicinity. It will serve a great niche to cater to passengers for the cruise terminal and people visiting offices in the area.
I just have a comment, Judge.
Go ahead,
if I may.
please.
You say you can card everybody that looks 40 or older?
Yes, they'll definitely card you.
Young-
They'll definitely did I say older? We'll definitely.
You're too young, you say younger. And somebody prior to you said 35 and younger.
Well, the Marriott is very strict, and obviously you look under 40, so they would card you for sure, so.
Good comment.
Commissioner Havey's birthday's coming up, and she will look under 40 as well, and we'll make sure. And Judge Matriciani will,
Let's not press credulity here. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Do you have anything further, Mr. Williams? Okay, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, the exhibits which will be received, the proffers from counsel, and any testimony, I believe that the applicant meets the criteria for the issuance of a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor hotel license requesting outdoor table service. I'd vote to approve.
For the same reasons, I concur with the chairman and vote to approve the application for this new class beer, wine, and liquor hotel license with outdoor table service.
I also concur with the chairman.
Thank you. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I call exhibits for the record. Applicant Exhibit Number 1, business plan.
Calling next case, Stephen Mowbray and Chuck Cart Kampirapong D Group LLC, trading as D Thai 1301 North Calvert Street. There's an application for a new Class B beer, wine, liquor license under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 1216-03C1II, requiring $200,000 in capital investment, seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people, requesting outdoor table service.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for the record, Gary Maslin on behalf of the applicants. This is an application for a new Class B license. This is a Thai restaurant. There was formerly a Thai restaurant there who had a license that went out of business.
Okay, before you go forward, who's with you tonight?
It is with me tonight are the two applicants, Stephen Mowbray and Chakart Chapirapang, and their manager. Would you identify yourself for the record?
You have to come up to the
That was
microphone.
a mouthful.
You have to
Can you come up to the microphone?
Come up to the microphone. Say that again.
Hi, my name is Pairaya Rashapanya.
Can you spell it for this gentleman down here?
Okay.
You don't understand Thai?
On
No,
the,
no.
Pairaya. Okay. Does you need the last name also? Rutchapanya.
One more time, please.
Rutchapanya.
Okay, thank you.
And can all three of you raise your right hands, please?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Mr.
This
Mayor.
is, as I said, it's a Thai restaurant. There's formerly a Thai restaurant. Contained in the packet I gave you is their menu. Also contained is the valuation of Jonathan Melnick, showing that there is a capital investment here of over $337,000, well meeting the capital investment requirement, which in this area is $200,000. Their UNO permit, their fire permit, their percentage of ownerships. One of the applicants is actually the landlord. He owns the building. He's very familiar with these people. They're very fine people. The applicant is been in the Thai restaurant business for over 14 years. They also, in your packet, is an MOU and letter of support from the Belvedere, Mount Vernon Belvedere Improvement Association. They met with that association. They have signed, executed an MRU. It shows their hours of operation. You'll note that it's not a late night operation. They're not asking for live entertainment. They're going to close by, I believe it's 11 o'clock every night of the week.
Willing to have the terms of the MOU?
Absolutely. They're fine with that. They have been open and operating the business already. They have the business is over. They're very warmly received by the community, and they're very enthusiastically supporting them. They welcome them wholeheartedly. I have a certificate that Mr. Parapang has showing alcohol awareness training. Also, we've made arrangements for the manager to have alcohol awareness training, and anyone serving alcohol in the establishment will also get certified.
That's this young lady's certificate?
No, this is, I'm sorry.
This is the,
So that's the manager's certificate and the other one.
Okay.
Currently, she's the only one that's going to be serving alcohol, along with this gentleman.
do they intend to have other people eventually serving alcohol?
Eventually, but it's not a huge place, so it only has 150, it has 80 seats, but they've configured it for 75.
Okay.
It's a lovely little charming place. I actually had lunch there the other day. The food's very good.
Commissioners have questions?
None.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you. On the basis of the materials contained in the application, the exhibits which will be received, the proffers from council, any testimony received, and particularly with respect to the memorandum of understanding between the applicants and the Mount Vernon Belvedere Improvement Association, I would vote to approve the application for new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with outdoor table service, subject to the terms of the MOU to the extent they're enforceable by law.
For the same reasons, I concur and vote to approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with outdoor table service, subject to the terms of the MOU to the extent that is enforceable by law.
I concur. Mr. Chair.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, folks.
Luck.
Thank you. Hope we
Exhibits
move
for the
quick enough for
record.
you.
Applicant Exhibit 1, business plan. Applicant Exhibit 2, alcohol awareness certification. Mr. Nasri? Okay, we can get copies. Okay, give me 1 second.
Calling next case, Marnell Cooper, Carlos Orjela, and Michael Brettenbach, Merit Beverage Baltimore LLC, trading as Hotel RL Baltimore Inner Harbor, 207 East Redwood Street. This is a request for a transfer hardship extension under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-1705 for a Class B beer, wine, liquor, hotel motel license.
Good evening, Leanne Schreckengost with Worcester, Muller, McLean, and Reed here on behalf of the applicants. As Mr. Akras indicated, we're here requesting hardship extension. The application was approved by this board back on February 21st, and we were unable to complete the full checklist items by the August 20th deadline. As of yesterday, the entire checklist has been completed. We're waiting for your approval for this 30-day extension so that we can pick up the license tomorrow. We were victims of the ransomware attack, which affected the use and occupancy permits and getting inspections scheduled and things put in the computer system, actively trying to get everything accomplished before the August 20th deadline, but we're not successful.
Did you say a 30-day extension you're requesting?
We're ready to pick up the license tomorrow. The board has already all the documents to complete the checklist. So if you want to give us 1 day, 2 days, it would
30's
be
fine. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, I wasn't undercutting you. Okay.
not at all.
Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. On the basis then of the letter of August 16th that we received from Ms. Schreckengost, her proffer today, and what she's just told us that they've completed everything, I would vote to grant the applicants a 30-day extension, hardship extension.
For the same reasons, I vote to grant the applicant's transfer hardship extension.
For the same reason, I concur.
Good luck.
Thank you all very much.
Calling the next case, David Pierce, secured creditor with no trade name, 1171 through 73 West Hamburg Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, liquor license. A request for a hardship extension under the provisions of Alcoholic Beverages Article 12-2202. Mr. Chair, I just want to bring to attention that this is on the list for Transform Baltimore and must come into compliance with all the new zoning requirements.
All right, identify yourself for the record.
Hi, David Pierce.
Mr. Pierce, you're aware about the zoning issue?
I am not, but...
You can take it out with Mr. Akras afterwards, but you're here to request a hardship extension, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and it's in foreclosure, your letter says?
Yeah, the property is in foreclosure. We've already...
It's counsel.
Okay.
Actually, I'm the secured creditor.
Oh, okay, well then raise your right hand.
And I'm an attorney also, but...
I thought you were representing them, but go ahead.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. So you started to say, Mr. Pierce, it's
So
in...
there was a foreclosure auction. Sale was just ratified this past Friday, so we're now prepared to move forward. We're waiting for that to take place.
And how much of an extension are you requesting?
Well, under 12-2202, it's 180 days, I believe.
Okay,
I don't think I'll need anywhere near that, but
okay. And someone has provided us with Judge Bryant's final order ratifying sales, so, oh, okay. Thank you. That'll be made part of the record. Commissioners have questions?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. On the basis of Mr. Pierce's letter to us dated May 24, 2019, his testimony today, and the order which will be received in evidence, I'd vote to grant a 180-day hardship extension.
I concur and vote to grant a 180-day hardship extension.
I concur also to grant a 180-day extension.
Good luck. Thank you.
thank you.
And close it for the record. Licensee Exhibit 1, court order.
Mr. Akers, is that our evening docket?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. The board is in recess until October 10th, 2019 at 11 a.m.
You ran 2 minutes over, Mr. Akers. Thank you, everyone. Larry?